Hey, so there's a secret to losing weight I just discovered, and a lot of people don't know about it right now. So watch until the end of the video, and you'll be more informed than 90% of the nation. Stay tuned. So this new thing I discovered, it's not fat loss tea. It's not strapping some weird thing onto your stomach to give you abs. It's not an expensive trainer. It's not a workout machine. What it is being in a calorie deficit day in, day out, every single day for a very long time. And I'm gonna let you in on another little secret. It's not a secret. The fitness industry just doesn't want you to know it's that simple. Today I'm going to teach you how to be in a calorie deficit day in, day out, how to track your macronutrients, and make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Let's get into it. All right, so first of all, what the good news is that you don't have to get very scientific to lose weight. Really, at the simplest form of exercise, that's what it is. Being in a calorie deficit day in and day out, every single day for a very long time. This isn't something you're gonna do for the rest of your life, because if you're in a calorie deficit long enough, eventually you're gonna get to the point where you don't have any more calories and you're gonna starve to death. So this is something you do for 6 months, however long you need to get down to a weight that you like, and then you start to maintain. So I've said it before, being in a calorie deficit, you're taking in less calories than you're putting out. And when you're doing calorie maintenance, you're just taking in the same amount of calories as you're putting out. So basically, you're not gaining weight, you're not losing weight, you're the same, you like it that way, amazing. Now, what I'm gonna teach you to do today is the first few steps in losing weight. Now, all you have to do, take out your phone, get on your app store, and then download your favorite calorie counting app, because calorie counting is very important because it is the simplest form of weight loss, calorie deficit. So get your favorite calorie counting app. Mine is MyFitnessPal. It does really everything for you. It's amazing. And then when you do that, make sure for about a week you put everything you're doing in there. Every single thing, everything you're gonna eat. So like if you make a sandwich, you put 2 pieces of bread. You put however much ham. Basically every single thing you need to put in there about what you're eating. That's it. And then after a week, you see, hey, how many calories did I eat this week? And once you got that number, your daily number, you take 200 to 300 calories away from that, because we have to start small. So when you want to be in a calorie deficit, you can't do super large amounts because it's not sustainable in the long term. You're not going to be able to keep yourself from eating all that food. You have to keep lowering it consistently down throughout time. Now, what I like to do is I like to start with a 200 to 300 calorie deficit. So let's say you ate about 2,000 calories a day, and you're trying to lose weight. Really, you should be eating 1,700 to 1,800 calories every single day. So you're in a 200 to 300 calorie deficit. That is an amazing start. Another thing is that if you're in too much of a calorie deficit, you might be losing muscle as well as fat, and you really don't want to be doing that. So it's a really easy way to start, 200 to 300 calories off what you usually eat, and you're not going to be losing muscle. You're going to be able to maintain it. You're not going to be making super fast gains or losses. But one thing that you need to realize is that you shouldn't be obsessed with perfection. No one is perfect. So instead of being obsessed with perfection, be obsessed with progress. Really, the more obsessed you get with progress, the more benefits you're going to have. You don't think you're going to look perfect a week from now. Think of it as a lifelong journey, and that's really what fitness is, because if you stop working out, stop doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to get out of shape. Okay, it's a lifelong journey. So don't think you're going to be able to shed all that weight off in a month, because it's not going to happen. As long as you're seeing some results, as long as you're getting smaller and smaller or bigger and bigger, whichever way you're trying to go, then you're doing the right thing. Don't think that you have to be perfect right from the get-go, because no one is ever perfect. Everyone's always working on themselves. All right, now that we got that out of the way, there are these pesky things called macronutrients. So it's not as simple as just a calorie deficit. The three macronutrients are carbs, protein, and fat. Now, typically in a fat loss diet, you're gonna have a very high amount of protein, a very medium amount of fat, and a very small amount of carbs. And this is why we do this, because if you eat 17 to 1800 calories and they're all carbs, your body's only gonna use as many carbs as it needs, and then the rest turns into fat. So once it's used all the carbs it needs, it's gonna hang on to those extra calories, so it's gonna be harder to lose weight. Now what the protein does is it feeds the muscles and gets the metabolism going. So really that's why we have a high amount of protein for a fat loss diet. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. We measure total food consumption in calories, but we measure each individual section in grams. Isn't that fun? So now we have to do some math. So what the math we're gonna do here is with carbs, it takes about 4 calories in a gram of carbs. And in a gram of protein, it's about 4 calories. So that's nice. They're about the same. And then a gram of fat, there's about 9 calories. So that's the odd one out. So we do have to do some math here. So when how do you figure out the calories? You divide each section accordingly. So let's say you're eating about 1700 calories a day. Let's say 45% of that is going to be protein. So then since there's 4 calories in a gram of protein, you're going to divide 765 calories, which would be about 45% of 1700. You're going to divide that by 4. And when you do that, you get about 192 grams of protein. So that's how many grams you're going to eat per day. And each nutrition fact sheet should have that on each label, so you should be able to see that. Let's say you're going to have about 40% of that be fats. And then if you divide 1700 by 45, or multiply 1700 by 0.45, you get about 680 calories. Now, fats, you divide that by 9 because there's 9 calories in a gram of fat. So the number we get now is 76 grams of fat. So we have 192 grams of protein, 76 grams of fat, and we're gonna do 15% carbs. Remember, we have a low amount of carbs for a fat loss diet, okay? So 1700 multiplied by 0.15 would be about 255 calories. Now you divide that by 4 because that's, 4 calories in a gram of carbs, and you get about 64 grams of carbs. So that's how you get our numbers: 192 grams of protein, 76 grams of fat, 64 grams of carbs. And that's what you should be doing for at least about a month until you want to be able to change it a little bit. You should do each diet for about a month, and then once you've lost weight, you need to lower the calories a little bit to fit your new body, because you're not the same you that you were a month ago. That's very important. So if you want to sidestep that process because you think it's a little bit complicated, there are macro calculator apps, but they're not always the most accurate, just to give you a fair warning. I'd also like to point out that this is a formula. This isn't a perfect process that some scientist somewhere has meticulously thought out. I just like to tell you that these are very expensive trainers you pay for. Their entire job is to keep changing things up until something works. They don't know your body from the start. Really, that's their whole job, is to try to figure out what's going to work for you, because not the same thing works for everyone. So if you try this for a month, it's not working, don't be scared, don't be sad, don't be upset, okay? Really, what fitness is a lifelong process to figure out what works best for you and what will get you in the shape you want to be in. So if you try this for a month and it doesn't work, change it up a little bit, lower the calories some more, change up the macros. Really, you're gonna change it up until something works. And if it doesn't work after the first month, what I would say would just be to lower the calories a little bit more, work out a little bit more. And I do want to get a workout video in here, just so you'll know what some good exercises are for losing weight. Yeah, we'll get that out here pretty shortly. But just for a couple weeks, try this. Try to lower your calories, track your macros. And when you're starting out, if the macros is a little like overcomplicated for you, just start with the calories, okay? Because that's the most important thing, be in a calorie deficit day in, day out. I want to get a workout video in here shortly, but until then, have an awesome day.